Secretary General, Council, teacher David Lubongoya, who is here. Can you confirm that business is as usual here at Kamocha?
You can see very, very good morning to the viewers. You can see that NUP is moving forward, business is going on, our offices are open for the public because this is the only National Unity Platform office. The headquarters of NUP is here, and so our people, the supporters and friends out there shouldn't be worried at all, even one bit, by the stance of the state and those they choose to use. Yeah.
But what we saw yesterday, you have distanced yourselves from this group led by Moses Nkonge, Kibalama. What is going on? Because we know that these are members of National Unity Platform. They were here before, and now you see them walking away. Seems to be not always well within the party. Well,
the people of Uganda know the truth. You remember Mzee Kibalama stood here and handed over power, leadership to Honorable Kyagulanyi as president. In his own words, he said that he had grown old, he would no longer handle affairs of the party, and therefore he was handing over to a new breed of leaders who would take the party forward. But you remember about 2 weeks later, he was in court, surrounded by security operatives, to come and testify against the party. The very things he said on this platform, on this ground, he came out to deny them. So what do you expect of such a person? And that has not been the only time they say this, they come up saying the other thing. So these are attempts, futile attempts by the state to disorganize NUP, because they have tried everything possible to disorganize us, to divide us within, to bring us down, and they see us gaining strength. Everywhere we go, you saw us in Omoro the other day, they had to do a lot of rigging, you saw us in Kayunga, so they are always trying to make attempts of this nature. So what I can confirm to you is that this is just one of those attempts. It's a mere stunt, it has no legal basis, no factual basis, it's just a stunt of that nature.
But when this is happening for a party that is growing, it doesn't also augur well within the members, because they seem to be confused. They seem to be left, yes, you know, they are getting your word, but then it could create some confusion. And then also when they see these people walking away, what does it mean for the party and internal democracy?
But which people walking away? I have told you that the same people who stood here and said that everything was done legally, we filed all the necessary documents to change leadership. The same people 2 weeks later were in court, surrounded by the military, saying they had made the CDF and other people to come and disorganize NUP. Mzee Kibalama himself is on record saying that the state coached him to testify against NUP and Honorable Kyagulanyi. So what do you expect? And I believe that our supporters there know the country we are living in. They know all the attempts which the state has done, some overt, others covert, to disorganize NUP. So I don't think our people should be moved an inch. These are individuals who, yes, we all know we had a delegates conference, changed leadership, filed the necessary documents. Our constitution is clear. Once you take leadership, you take it for 5 years. Only the president of NUP has the power and authority to call a delegates conference. And the president of NUP is well known, Honorable Kyagulanyi, can call a delegates conference and change and the delegates of NUP change leadership. We are, of course, undertaking a constitutional review process, and if there are changes in those provisions, we shall let the nation know. But currently, there is no other person who has the power to call a delegates conference or anything like that, except the president of the party, in line with our constitution.
So are you as a party just going to look on and just keeping these accusations, or are you going to go maybe in court? Because in 2020, we saw these things being sorted through courts of law.
Yeah, but who went to court? It is not us who went to court. These same individuals took us to court, you know. They were here saying all sorts of things. They went to court, and court dismissed their case because it had no merit. We are going to make a decision, because we don't want them to continue masquerading, calling themselves what they are not. We are going to make the necessary decision on what to do moving forward. But for now, our people should just ignore them. They're just a bunch of people whose character is now well known. Because a person...
Self-care, they say. Get up early, keep it tidy, eat clean, make the bed, get enough sleep. Self-care muss gar nicht.
Who comes out making different contradictory statements about 10 or 20 times? Why should citizens take that person serious? You remember a few months ago, the same lot wrote to the Electoral Commission saying our constitution was not the right one, saying the leadership did not change properly. Then when we engaged them, we said, what are you talking about? And the same people wrote to the Electoral Commission after that, withdrawing all the complaints, and clearly in their documents they said, all our complaints have been without merit and no basis at all. So people who confess on record that they have been lying all along, under their own signatures, why should they really make people lose sleep?
But for you as the Secretary General, would you admit that maybe when these groups come up, they also leave a dent and a bad image of the party? Because previously we saw those who were saying that there was accountability issues here. We came out and sorted it out through the media. But also we know that recently there were also fake stories that were in the media that there is an attempted coup of the top leadership here. When these stories keep coming up, these groups, they leave a bad image about the party.
As a matter of fact, when these stories come up, for me, I think it strengthens us. It shows the people of Uganda who Museveni and his people are afraid of. Simple. If you are in a country challenging a dictatorship and you're not getting these kinds of fights against you, then know that you're not doing anything. So what I can say is that the people who are out there watching us definitely know that the reason why NUP has constantly been a target is because we are the ones who give the regime sleepless nights. Simple. If it was not that, they would leave us. And you know, there are some parties who the NRM has no problem with. Because if you talk about this group, and I can tell you that this is not the beginning, not even the end. We expect it, that there are more groups which will come up. You've seen people who claim to be our leaders when they're actually not coming up to write things against the party. So the regime is always trying to do everything. Their first intention was to infiltrate us, especially the top leadership. That failed. And now what do they have to do? To use some people, to look for people that they can use against NUP. So what I can tell our members and supporters out there is that we are solid and we continue to stand on the values that we stand for. There is no cause for alarm whatsoever.
This yesterday's group, when it came here, led by Moses Nkonge Kibalama and Sam Simwa Kagombe, it was evident within the public that maybe you had a deal. Is there anything that you promised these people? Because they are accusing you of being unloyal, that you were supposed to incorporate them within the top leadership. Is there something I didn't tell them or you didn't fulfill? But
you should go and watch back what they said in court. Kibalama stood in the dock in court and said, on the stand in court, and clearly said that a political party is not a commodity which you can sell or buy. And that was after he had made another interview saying that we had promised them $5 million. So a person like that, he came to court himself, said that a political party is not a commodity which you can buy. So there was no deal. Mind you, before we decided to take over NUP, there were so many parties which wanted Honorable Kyagulanyi to stand under them. We reviewed their constitutions, looked at their arrangements, etc., and decided consciously to take the leadership of NUP. And they came here and talked about it. So there was no deal. It was just saying we have become members of the party, we have participated in elections, we have been elected as leaders, and we are going to steer the party forward after that.
This is also coming at a time when we know we are organizing, or the Electoral Commission is organizing the women's elections. When you see such a story coming up, and you as the Secretariat here, what would you tell the women there, the people there who are expecting the elections to come and they see a kind of a confusion in courts?
Yeah, so that's another thing I wanted to bring out clearly. These individuals have always come up to bring that confusion every time we have a major election or major milestones, about 4 times so far. You remember the last time it was about the presidential election. And the intention of the state was to try and discourage people from running under NUP. And unfortunately, some people might have listened to that kind of hogwash and followed it and got scared to run under NUP. So our people should not be scared. That's what I can say. Our people should not feel scared. Our people should not even give it attention. The women out there are encouraged to continue. Our registrars are on the ground registering candidates of NUP. And we encourage them to continue because this is the only NUP headquarter known in the country. Any other thing is just a masquerader with no legal basis whatsoever.
There were some attempts or allegations of attack on that group, that the house that Kibalama and the team say the headquarters of NUP. There was an attack on the vehicles and the property, and police says is investigating, made some arrests, and they are pointing at NUP senior leaders of based here at Kamocha, would you associate or disassociate with this group? That
are you surprised? Are you surprised that they are doing such stunts? You remember the first time Kibalama came up to make all these allegations, the military went and guarded his home, claiming that NUP was planning to attack it. We do not have time for that. The problem is that sometimes in this country, things which are not significant are given a lot of importance. And unfortunately, we are also dragged into that, and we have to respond to such issues. But Kibalama, you remember, when he came up the first time and did whatever, the military was guarding his home, claiming that NUP was planning to go and attack. We are non-violent, and we made it clear. So I'm sure that is just not the first thing they've done. They are going to stage some people to do all sorts of stunts. They are trying to attract attention, but we are not willing to give them that kind of attention because they don't deserve it. Yeah.
Have you told anything to the Electoral Commission and all the powers be, or even other political parties that you play together within the political domain in Uganda?
No, we expect the Electoral Commission, of course, to come up and clear the air because they are the regulators of this of political parties in Uganda. Kibalama tendered in his resignation to the Electoral Commission. How do you resign today and tomorrow come and say that you are still a leader? How? He resigned as president. That man Simba resigned as Secretary General of the party, and they filed all these documents with the Electoral Commission and clearly indicated that they were no longer leaders. And you have the UNTV have them on record, Kibalama standing on this very ground saying, I'm an old man, I can no longer take over, I cannot no longer hand party matters, so I have decided to hand over to a young man and his team to lead this party. So how can such a person turn around and the media gives them attention? It is self-defeatist. So what I can confirm to our people is that NUP is legally here, and I would expect the Electoral Commission to come up and clear the air because they know who the leaders of the party are.
As we try to conclude this conversation, we saw the leader of opposition, Honorable Mathias Impuga, in Parliament delivering the report, annual report for the leadership in Parliament, that is for the opposition. You, as the party that holds the majority opposition in this country, are you satisfied with what they've done in the past 1 year? And also, this coming at a time when we see NUP, some members, who the president here was making it categorically clear that these there's an attempt to lure them towards the ruling establishment through endorsements and inducements. When this comes, are you satisfied with the report, first of all?
Of course, our members of parliament, our parliamentary front has done many things amidst so many challenges. You must understand that serving even as a leader of opposition or as an opposition MP in this environment is not easy. And you've seen so many attempts to either compromise some, to attack some, to do all sorts of things. So I think they have really, really done their best under the circumstances. And as of course we are going to review, and see what more actions can be taken, not only by the parliamentary front, but by all other organs of the party, whether it be the parliamentary caucus, the leadership here, etc., etc. We need to sit down and reflect on what more we can do. But you need to understand that it's been a very difficult year. Here at NUP, most of our resources and time have gone in trying to get people out of jails. Even now as I speak, we still have hundreds of people. Some unaccounted for, we don't know where they are. So that has been one of the biggest hurdles that we've experienced this year. Every day, if you just look around, you'll see people coming here. Even now, some will come to report missing persons, others will come to ask for welfare of siblings of these people who are missing, etc., etc. So I think this first year has been full of challenges, but there has been a lot of progress made.
Okay, and finally, is the issue of the 40 million shillings that is in the public domain. Can you confirm that all the members of parliament that belong to subscribe to the NUP have returned the money wherever they picked it from, as it's out there in the public domain?
First of all, this debate, in my view, has been vulgarized, because the debate which the citizens should be having is, this was 20.4 billion shillings given out to members of parliament, not only NUP members. And I'm not hearing that coming out so much.
There's silence from the other opposition parties.
But they admitted, everyone admitted that money went out to members of parliament, all of them. It is only that NUP decided to become a whistleblower that you focus your cameras on NUP. But the citizens of this country must be asking. We
focus the cameras because you made an attempt, you made a directive that you give them an ultimatum.
Yes, and that's why I'm explaining to you that the critical question on everyone's mind should be, these 20 billion shillings, which was illegally, immorally given out to MPs, where did it come from? What could it have done to the people of Uganda in terms of service delivery? Why is it that, the regime or the parliament came out and distanced itself from it, even when members of parliament clearly came out to prove that they received the money? Now, one of the challenges, of course, which was there, was that you cannot even find the true list of people who received this money, because they were given this money from a private person's home. So it is only the volunteers who came out and said, we received this money, we thought it was moral and legal, we are taking it back. And several of them took it back to wherever they had received it from. Yeah.
There are some accusations, at least from sections of the public, that some members of parliament that subscribe to NUP, they fear coming here. Some, that because they hangers on of the party, sometimes they beg them for the money, and this is keeping them away. Is that true? And what have you done about it if it's true?
No, I think every party has challenges of indiscipline and all that. I don't think there's any member of parliament who fears to come here. They are always here. Whenever we invite members of parliament, they are always here. And they don't have to be here every day because their workstation is parliament. But every time we have an activity, we've seen members of parliament come here. Yes, there are challenges here and there of indiscipline, like every home or every party has, and we're dealing with those. But I don't want anyone to say that if MPs fear to come to NUP headquarters. That's really not true.
Finally, your word to the viewers, the NUP supporters and other people out there who know that we are heading into a new financial year where the party also has a roadmap to run.
Our people out there should know that we are focused on removing a dictatorship, a military regime in this country. All the problems we've talked about in this show, in this short the time we've spent, are because of bad governance in this our country. That is why you're talking about a certain section of people coming up to disturb a political party that is duly established. That is why we're talking about all these allegations that keep coming up. That's why you're talking about corruption, scandals of that nature. So our people need to focus on that one thing. How can we redeem our country from a military regime, from a corrupt regime, and establish a government of the people, by the people, and for the people? That is the most important question to ask.
Thank you so much, Council David Lewis Lubongoya, Secretary General of National Unity Platform. Stephen Mbide, Professor Chibuga. I'm out for now, handing you back to studio.